Hello everyone, here we want to talk about the SUMIF and SUMIFS function in the Microsoft Excel. These functions will calculate the summation of one column or one range based on some criteria. So for example, here I want to calculate the summation of my total sale for each of these customers. So I have these customer names in one column and I want to make a calculation how much these customers buy in total. So I can use the SUMIF function because right now I have just one criteria, which is my customer name, and I can use SUMIF function. But if you have more than one criteria, you should have SUMIFs function. Actually, for one criteria, you can use SUMIFs function as well, but SUMIF function is much easier and faster. So when you have one criteria, I suggest to use SUMIF function. When you use SUMIF function, let's see the arguments. You have three arguments. The first one is the range and the second one is the criteria. So in the first argument, this function asks you to give the range that you want to see if it's equal to your criteria. So for example, here the customer name, I can use total column here CC, or I can just select the desired range. So I want to tell the function go and see if each of these cells is equal to this customer name A, then calculate the total summation of this sum range. So my sum range is the column D, or the range D2 to D23. And the function we go and see, for example, the cell 1 is the customer name A, fourth value is the A. So I need to make a summation of this value and this value. So in general, it will goes into these cells and see if it's equal to my criteria or not, and if it is, it make the summation. So if you press OK button, you can see the total summation. I use number and use separator here, for example, is the total summation of my cells for customer A. If you drag this formula to the down, you have some wrong summation number, because here I use the range C3 to C24. I missed one range, and also for my summation range I miss it as well. So I have to use the dollar sign for make a absolute reference to this range, and then you drag it to the down, or I can also use the entire column as my range, because in this entire column I just check if each of these is equal to the A or not, and then make a summation. It's good to have all the column here. So by this way, I just calculate the summation of my cells for each of these customer. In the SUMIFs function, if I have more than one criteria, then I can use SUMIFs function. So if you, for example, here, if you want to calculate the total sales for each month for each customer, I need to use at least two range for my criteria and one sum range. And you need to remember that, for example, in the year 2019 I have month 10, and in the year 2020 I also have month 10. So I need to check if this month is for year 2019 or if it's for year 2020. So if you open the SUMIF arguments, you can see the sum range here is the first argument. So I want to make a summation on the column D, and then criteria range 1 is the range that I want to check first. Here I want to check first the year is equal to 2019. So I just need to select the column A, and in the criteria 1 I have to check the criteria range 1 is equal to the I4 for year 2019 here. And in the criteria range 2, I need to check the month. So I need to select the column B and I need to check if this column B, each of these cells of the column B is equal to this month, month 10 J4. And I want to have another criteria range as well. I want to check if the customer name in the column C is equal to the K3, is equal to this customer name A. Now I have the summation of the total sales of the month 10 in the year 2019 for the customer A, and I wanted to calculate this for other customer in other month. So I need to absolute each of these columns to not be changed over dragging this formula, and then I also need this I4 be changed by the rows. So the column should be absolute, but the row should be changed. And here as well, I need this column be absolute, but the rows be changed. But here I need this column be changed, but the rows be absolute. So I use the dollar sign by this way and then press enter button, and then I can drag this to the right and then drag this to the down. So after that, you can see each of these customer souls for each month and the year. For example, here the C is 0 for month 10 of the year 2019, and it's right because in the month 10 of the year 2019 the customers C didn't purchase anything, and in these are we have just one month 10 which for a customer C, which is for the year 2020, and we can see here we have the summation for customer C in the year 2020. So by this way I can calculate the sum if by this way I can calculate the summation of my total sales for each customer in each year and each month. This is how the SUMIF and SUMIFS function works. These are very useful function that can be used in a lot of cases. I hope this video be useful for you. Thanks for watching. Until next video, goodbye.
In order to watch more training videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Diako Ltd. And if you want to see our products, please visit our website, diako.co.uk.